Good evening, everybody. Did the United States just enter a war with Iran without Congress approving it? Warning, today's episode is going to have graphic images and language. Usually I try to keep it a little cool, but tonight's not a cool night. Gas prices are soaring. American embassies are not prepared for evacuation. We have dead children now. It's being reported. We reported it a couple days ago. It's now being reported by the mainstream media that a strike on the children's school. That was us. A war of choice by a madman. Just like some of the women that have accused the president of thrusting himself onto them, he's thrusting us into a prolonged conflict, a war. It's been reported that this Iran fight's personal for him. I get it. They tried to kill him. There was a plot to assassinate him from Iran. But why would Iran want President Trump dead? It's not just the entire country doesn't like us. It's because he killed their top general during his first administration, right? Let's bring it back all the way. That's why they tried to kill him and why he is now curtailing Benjamin Netanyahu. I can never say his last name right. But you know who I'm talking about, Bibi. And he's curtailing him. Welcome to Divided America. Whenever you're able to watch or listen, I'm George Sisca. Thank you for joining us. Now, what makes this war unconstitutional? As soon as I put that post up on TikTok, immediately you get comments like, why is this unconstitutional? Why is it? It's the fact that it's a war, right? We understand that, right? Semantics, people. It's the name of the game. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is trying to frame this escalation, infringement, conflict into anything other than it really is. A war that no one wanted. Not one person. Pete also says that we're dictating the rules as he loves to talk down to the media. But we know that's not the case. Thanks to Secretary of State Marco Rubio and his flub of what seemed to be the truth. Semantics, people. It's the name of the game. Let's play Mr. Rubio.
If we stood and waited for that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties. And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act.
Well, there you have it, folks. Semantics, though, right? There are so many people out there that love to say, fuck around and find out, right? And to that crowd, which mainly seem to be MAGA types, all right? How about we let Israel fuck around and find out, right? According to Marco Rubio, Israel could have went into this war alone, but we just had to go. I'm sorry, but that's not the case. We don't have to. We could have let them do it. We could have said we didn't have any part of it, right? Let them fight it out. But no, we just had to. But now we also had Pete Hegseth saying some ridiculous stuff. Let's listen to the DUI hire.
This is what the fake news misses. We've taken control of Iran's airspace and waterways without boots on the ground. We control their fate. But when a few drones get through or tragic things happen, it's front page news. I get it. The press only wants to make the president look bad, but try for once to report the reality. The terms of this war will be set by us at every step.
Welcome back. I was looking at my phone because I'm trying to fix the live. I don't have it flipped on TikTok, and so I apologize. It will look pretty funny on TikTok, but whatever. But you heard right there, DUI hire Pete Hegseth talk about how it's our fault that we're reporting the news, that we're reporting that we've killed children, that we've gone in without a plan because there was no imminent threat to us. The imminent threat was to Israel, which I sympathize. I am not anti-Semitic. I just want to point that out very, very clearly. And I want to make clear that it is not anti-Semitic to not want our country to blindly follow them into another costly war. We acted because we can't stop Israel from trying to take over the region. And last night, the tweets from some of the senators from the GOP are already saying that we have to fund the war because we're in it. We're already in it. We're already in it. We got to pay. We have to listen. And Donald Trump is not the first U.S. president to hear from Bibi and how Iran was an imminent threat to the world. Now remember, this is what the justification to bomb and to invade and to kill is because Bibi has told Donald Trump, right? Has he been doing this for a while though? Let's see.
This is a bomb. This is a fuse. Iran is now trying to develop nuclear bombs. I think the United States should be very clear in forming an international coalition, with Israel, of course. We have to make sure that these single-man regimes do not acquire weapons of mass destruction. The most dangerous of these regimes is Iran. I believe that only the United States can lead this vital international effort to stop the nuclearization of terrorist states. But the deadline for attaining this goal is getting extremely close. Time is running out. By next
spring. It doesn't stop. There's been classified sessions with senators asking questions about this unjust war. And their answers are giving no insight. Except the ones that are saying that's worse than we thought. So that's, I don't know about you, but I can think about some pretty horrific shit. So if senators are coming out and saying that it's worse than you think, it can't be good. So that means that there was never a real plan, except decapitation, which seems to be the new norm in geopolitical affairs. We have neocons in charge now. And if you don't like the leader, you kill them, you drag them out, or you drag them out of their country, like Venezuela, and hope that people can figure it out on their own, right? That's the plan for Venezuela. We're going to take your leadership. You guys figure it out. We're in control of your money and oil, but you guys figure out the country. So now they think that's going to work in Iran. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. And why listen to me, right? Like, who am I, right? I'm still trying to make my name out there. I triple check information. I've been to war myself, and on the rage of 9/11 and the leaders here. And I will always admit when I'm wrong. Someone called me out on Twitter yesterday. I apologize, got rid of the tweet, fixed the information. Just the kind of person I am. I can't be wrong. I mean, I can be wrong, but if I'm wrong, I'm going to fix it and find out why I'm wrong. When I went to war, Kuwait and Qatar were our safe spaces, right? That's where we went to go relax from the war. Now, that's where that's where we've lost soldiers. We've lost too many already, but they're getting blown. Imagine being a soldier. You're sitting in Kuwait. Now, when I was in Kuwait, they barely had anything, but now they have, Kuwait's pretty built up. And you're sitting there at a Burger King. Yes, they have Burger Kings in Kuwait, or Subway. And you just hear that zzz. You hear that drone, and explain to me how that is conservative. Comments, whenever you see me, email me, text me, follow me, subscribe. Tell me, how is it conservative? Explain to me how spending $1 billion a day in war spending is conservative. You guys love You guys like to frame me as a far lefty, but here's someone that you would consider conservative, right? And now he's done with Trump after starting this new war. Who are we going to listen to now? Mr. Fuentes, come on down.
This has to be the breaking point. This is the breaking point for the GOP coalition. You buried the Epstein files. There is no border wall. You didn't deliver on mass deportations. You cut corporate tax rates for the rich by cutting Medicaid again. No infrastructure bill, no middle class tax cuts. You got to refund the tariffs. And now we're in a regime change war with Iran. That's the breaking point. I'm out. I'm done. I am off the Trump train. I am not voting in 26. If Rubio or Vance are on the ticket in any form in 28, I'm voting for a Democrat.
There you go. Rampant racist Nick Fuentes giving his endorsement for not Donald Trump or J.D. Vance or anybody in this administration. So he's lost Joe Rogan, Nick Fuentes. He's never had anybody know. How are they going to win an election? Midterms are coming up very soon, right? We have to vote. We have to get rid of this stuff. But I think it's safe to say that we can all agree that left, right, starting a war without discussing it with us, the American people, is just plain wrong. I have my quarrels with George Bush, but at least he went to Congress and at least asked for money. I know other presidents have made strikes in other countries. It's a popular argument with the right, but nothing to this degree without discussion. Hell, the State of the Union was last week, and he spoke, I think, roughly 15 seconds about Iran, maybe a minute. It's just, you have to, off script. I've been to war. I had a text from a friend that went to war right before going live. Hi, Dan. War's not fun. There's no, and now what we have to worry about, are we safer, is the question I'm going to ask you. Do you feel safer now? Do you feel safer do the people in the embassies that are trying to get out, that are calling the phone number that has been reported that it just disconnects on you? You couldn't give any heads up to the embassy people, to all of the Americans. I understand that you don't want to give a heads up during wartime. I understand the tactical OPSEC about it. But there are too many Americans worldwide that are now in danger because of you. Because you're a madman, Donnie. I'll just call him Bibby. He asked so many presidents before you, but it was you, the useful idiot, once again. We're going to take a very quick break, but when we come back, we are going to talk about Miss Ice Barbie. And, well, when I wrote this, she wasn't fired as of yet. But as of right now, we can report that she's been fired by the Trump administration. We'll be right back and come in steaming with her. All right, we are back. Oh, Ice Barbie, we will miss you, or we won't. Like I said before the break, Director of Homeland Services, Kristi Noem, former governor of South Dakota, has been fired by the Trump administration for was she killed for killing civilians? I don't know. Was she killed for $143 million in unsolicited government contracts to a business that was just created 8 days before getting that contract? We don't know. But Ice Barbie, and semantics, people, it's the name of the game. She was put down like her dog. But Senator Mullins will not be much better, which is the main problem with the Republican Party today. I'm going to do a hell of a lot more reporting on this contract, but I did contract work for the FAA. So I know my way around the websites, and I understand what the parent awards and all this, the mumbo jumbo in the contracting world of the government is. So I have a lot to look at. I just started diving into this yesterday, and it is disgusting. I know that as a small business owner, I've been looking into government contracts because I've seen the movie War Dogs. If you haven't seen the movie War Dogs, it's phenomenal. Jonah Hill, Miles Teller, they play these characters that are true. It's a true story about government contractors and how easy it is to get government contracts if you know the business. So what I've what I've seen as a small business is I have to be in business for 2 years before I can get a government dime. But the Department of Homeland Security gave $143 million of your tax dollar money to this company that has been around for, I said it before and I'll say it again, 8 days. American Media Services, I believe was the name off the top of my head, if I can remember correctly. I thought I had it on here and I don't, and I apologize. I have so many tabs up all over here. Let's see. Here we go. Now, do you know that we've spent 700% more from 2025 quarter 3 to 2025 quarter 4 in government spending, and just the Department of Homeland Security alone? Now, I know this is mundane stuff, and it could seem trivial, but this is our money, and it's going out. I feel that this administration has pulled off the biggest heist of all time, and it's ongoing, right? Because they're in charge. I was having a conversation with Cumberland Democrats this past Monday. I meet with the Cumberland Republicans this upcoming Monday, so I'll have their perspective too. But they were asking me about like what I felt about this administration, and they're the biggest thieves I've ever seen. Now I know Donald Trump was not loved or respected in the New York elite, and he took that personally. And now he is the elite, right? And not only is he the elite, they made Jimmy Carter sell his peanut farm, but Secret Service and other government people that stay at Trump resorts, they stay at an increased government rate. When I was in the FAA, I had to check on my workers to make sure that their receipts said it didn't say government rate, but it had the right. You can tell if you're either going to pay $178, $78, or $600, as some of the receipts that we've seen come in recently. It's just this contract. This is $143 million. Before going live, I thought I saw something about $221 million that Kristi Noem spent, and that's why she's gone. The rabbit hole has just been starting to go down, and it's I'm scared to know where all this money went. From what is reported, from what I can see on the website, it's the company is owned or run in Alexandria, Virginia, at Safe America Media LLC. Single award. Urgency. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you. How they're stealing the money. They're stealing it under the false pretenses of an invasion. Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the government has stopped border crossings, or at least dramatically lowered them. So we're not in a state of emergency anymore, right? So we don't have to continuously give because the reason why they gave an 8-day-old LLC $143 million. Other than full and open competition, the reason? Urgency. FAR, which is the Federal Acquisition Regulations, used to have to know it for 10 years, but 6.302-2. That's, if you guys want to look that up, that's FAR 6.302-2. That is their justification to give an 8-day-old, not even year, 8-day old business $143 million. I'd love a little bit of that. Maybe I can get a little PR money, right? Because that's where a lot of this money is going, so we can know who Ice Barbie is or was. It's when you actually look at the award profile and the contract summary and the period performance, which kills me because part of the contract says it's got to be done within 6 months. So that's $143 million in 6 months of our money. It's not right, people. It's not right. And don't tell me it's conservative. And now, because local. Now let's look at a quick local story before we go. And that is on the Foxborough Board of Approvals here. Like I live roughly 20 minutes from Foxborough. Been trying to get Patriots access. Been trying to get World Cup access. And there's a board that approves licenses for FIFA, and they're threatening to withhold licenses due to a $7.8 million security bill that is anticipated for the little town of Foxborough. Foxborough is a little town, right? They're expecting, but it's at the Boston place. I'm going to play a very well-produced video from, it's from, I think, CBS.
This has been going on for months.
Foxborough's select board seemed in a state of disbelief Tuesday night that after more than a year of planning and a tense exchange with local soccer leaders 2 weeks ago, they still don't have the money they need to pay for World Cup security. 7 games are set to be played at the so-called Boston Stadium in June and July. And Foxborough refuses to front upwards of $8 million needed to buy equipment and pay police and fire over a span of 39 days.
All of the equipment that the chiefs have said they need will be there and available by June 1st.
Waiting till June 1st is unacceptable. We are 99 or 100 days away from hosting the largest sporting event in the world.
Boston 2026, the local partner for FIFA, brought their attorneys to make a presentation. They claim if the federal funding were to fall through, Boston 2026 will cover the costs.
So they need federal funding to protect the public here. Do you trust this? Do you think Foxborough, the town, actually trusts this administration to give them back the money when we know that that the man has reneged on so many contracts? It's unfathomable. That's our show for this evening. I really hope that you enjoyed what I wrote and produced and showed for you. If you're watching on TikTok, I know that you had a better production value before, and I apologize. I can only stream to do 2 at once, and for some reason Restream kicked me off. So now I can do it with X and now or Twitter. So I thank anybody who is able to ingest this or watch this whenever you or listen to it whenever you can. I urge you to please subscribe to the YouTube channel, where I think that's where the majority of this is going to be going. I can't stream to everywhere, and I have to start picking one place. And I have my website, siscanews.com, but there's logistical problems with everything. And so I appreciate everybody and anybody. And then this is also on Substack. Tomorrow I put this out. I will cut this up, send out clips, send out the whole show. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please contact me. Subscribe, ask me questions. I'm more than willing to answer virtually any question. So thank you again for joining. I will see you next week with hopefully new content. Hopefully we don't have too many losses overseas. Oh, I should have showed this darn picture. I probably should have led this, but this picture right here, the picture of the dead children, or at least the graves of the dead children. Have a good night, everybody.